Nikos Anastasiadis. What's up, my man? Am I saying it right now?
Yeah, nailed it. I knew you're Greek.
Well, man, this is so exciting to talk to you. And, you know, I'm starting this new idea where I want to interview my students. And because I realize that, you know, you guys have been on your journey of learning. And I want to learn about what you've been working on, what has helped you see differences in your playing, but maybe also the musicians you're playing with. Like, have they seen differences in your playing? So, you know, I thought it would be cool to do these interviews with some of you guys because some of the other people watching this can relate, you know? And so I've put together a bunch of questions for you. You know, you and I, for everyone who's watching, we've gotten to know each other a good bit over the last several years. And, you know, I'm excited to talk to you. Whenever we talk, we always have a great time talking about drums. And so enough about me talking. I want to hear about you, and I want the people to learn more about you. So I know where you're living and where you're from and where you're active, but tell everybody what, you know, start with your name and where you're from and a little bit about what you've been doing.
Okay. Thanks. First of all, thank you for having me. It's a big honor. I mean, it's a bit surreal for me. So yeah. So my name is Nikos Anastasiadis. You all know that, and you can pronounce it right. So yeah, I mean, I started playing drums not so young. I mean, I started at the age of 17, and I didn't take any formal lessons till 26. But I managed to understand a bit of theory, how to read music, note values, and stuff like that. So as soon as I completed my military services at the age of 26, I said to myself, okay, let's go for it. I wanted to know where I was at, you know? I was already playing for 10 years, but okay, I mean, I started playing hard rock and heavy metal, obviously. My biggest influences were like Iron Maiden and Nico McBrain and Metallica and Lars Ulrich and so on. And then I got into that progressive rock metal phase, and specifically bands like Dream Theater and Fates Warning and Rush and Yes and Spokesbeard. So drummers like Mike Portnoy and Nick DiVirgilio and Neil Peart, of course, were a huge influence. And then at some point, a very close friend of mine gave me that video cassette of Dave Weckl, Back to the Basics. So as soon as I watched that cassette, I was like, oh, so drums can be played that way too, you know? And I think a couple of months later, I saw that Buddy Rich memorial concert, and I was blown away. So I started checking like fusion and jazz stuff, drummers like Dave Weckl, obviously, and Vinny Colaiuta and Dennis Chambers. And, you know, fusion was my transition from heavy metal to jazz, okay? But I had never listened to funk and soul music until I walked into the drum store, you know, our beloved drum store here in Athens, of my beloved friends, George and Vasilis Metalinos. And I saw that book and DVD with the very cool cover with that blonde guy, kind of similar what I'm watching now. That blonde guy with glasses and that cool title, Take It to the Street. And I was like, that's cool. Let's see what New Orleans and funk and second line drumming is. And as soon as I start listening to I think the first track is the Blackbird Special, right?
Right.
On the DVD?
Yep.
Yeah, I was blown away. I was like, what the, I mean, the energy, the feel, the sound, the everything. I mean, I was blown away. And that was a big game changer for me. So I got really into funk and soul, and I started checking the meters, Galactic, Dirty Dozen Brass Band, James Brown, and all that stuff. So yeah, that was briefly my background. I mean, back in the day.
So what I love about your playing is, you know, you've really developed a lot in the last several years, and you've gotten really good about filming yourself and posting, whether it's performances with your Ronnie James Dio cover band, Rock and Roll Children, or posting things that you've filmed in the studio, some of the play-alongs from Groove Alchemy or other play-alongs, and you and your friend Costas have gotten really good filming in the studio. And then also you'll come up with really cool variations on some of the stuff I might have posted in the Academy, and you'll film practice sessions too. So I have so many questions about all of this. So, you know, my first question is, when you're playing in front of a large audience with Rock and Roll Children, and you know it's a heavy band and you're hitting hard, so your journey into learning more about the funk stuff and the New Orleans stuff and trying to learn that feel, has that improved your groove for the heavier stuff that you play?
Big time. I mean, you know, back to you again, but Groove Alchemy was a big influence. I mean, especially the Getting Creative chapter was had a really big impact on me. Because before that, I have never thought that all these drummers, all these classic rock drummers I love, I mean, like Ian Pace and John Bonham and Vinny Appice and Cozy Powell, of course, had, I mean, they grew up in a period that R&B and soul and rock and roll was very popular. So that styles of music had influenced them so much. That's why their playing was so deep and so organic and so swinging, and I will dare to say funky.
Yes. Yeah.
Believe me, trust me, I mean, before Groove Alchemy, I wouldn't have detected all this.
I'm so happy to hear you say this, because for me, in my development, I started realizing how deeply influenced some of my favorite drummers, like John Bonham. Everybody knows how much I love John Bonham, but then also Mitch Mitchell and Keith Moon. Like when I was growing up, my first favorite drummers were a lot of the classic rock guys. And then I started digging deeper and I started realizing how influenced John Bonham was by Black American drummers, right? So Clyde Stubblefield, Jabo Starks, Bernard Purdy, Earl Palmer. And I started digging deeper into that. So then once I came up with this theory that if drummers, especially rock drummers, heavier drummers, if they started to check out more of the roots of where John Bonham got this stuff, it would help their groove and help improve their groove and help their feel. So to have you say that it has, for me, it means the world, because it's like vindication on, I had this theory that maybe I could help drummers get better if I could show them where John Bonham got all this stuff from, and all the other drummers that we just talked about too, Cozy Powell, Ian Pace, and Mitch Mitchell, and Keith Moon, and so I presented all this stuff in hopes that it would help people. And so when I hear that it's helping you, it lights me up. It gets me excited to keep doing all of this stuff.
100%, man. I mean, yeah. I mean, before that, I was watching myself playing, and I was feeling very, tense, and I was getting fatigued really fast and stuff like that. But after that, I became much, looser, and I mean, I concentrated a lot on groove, and how I will make this sound good, feel good, and stuff like that. Okay, I mean, before that was just licks, patterns, and whatever,
So for kicks, to show an exact example of what we're talking about. So I've been watching all the videos that you sent and that we're gonna put into this spotlight, right? So Big Stan, who's also one of our great SMDA guys, and we're gonna do a spotlight on him as well. But I'm gonna have him put in this footage right now from 10 seconds in on your live stream gig mix, where you play a snare drum fill, and it's just like when Bonham played a snare drum fill in Whole Lotta Love. It shows how you've internalized in between straight and swing, and it shows how you're feeling things now. So right now we're gonna show in this spotlight, we're gonna have Stan cut to that fill so everybody can understand what it is we're talking about. When you work on making things feel better, just playing this one simple snare drum fill, it feels amazing. So we're gonna watch that right now.
Now there's no back door to heaven, just a front door to hell.
That was so great. That was so killer. And now we're gonna have Stan cut to 1 minute and 48 seconds where we have something similar where you're playing in between the cracks. So Stan, please roll that right now.
The walls, lock up the world, lock up the world.
So Nikos, my question to you is, before you started checking out all this stuff, would you have played a fill that felt like that before?
To be honest, no, because I wasn't paying attention. I mean, I have thoughts like, okay, that is very simple. Okay, it's just 16s. It's okay. It's a drum fill. I have to go from the verse to bridge or something like that. But I didn't pay attention. I wasn't concentrated on this to make it feel good. I mean, feel and sound wise, and how I'm placing the note values, either are 16ths or triplets or whatever. After that, I was really into that. I mean, to make everything feel good. I'm not saying that I have a big success on that, but that's what I'm trying to do, always.
Yeah, and it feels great. I mean, I've been so impressed by all the videos that you've been posting, but especially when you're playing with a heavy band outdoors in front of a large audience, and it feels so good. Like, I'm noticing it. It's like, oh, it's so much pocket. And, I've had this theory for years that it's all in the nuances, right? And if you can focus on the nuances, it'll help. Yes, if you're swinging out. Yes, if you're playing funk. But yes, if you're playing heavier stuff. So my next question to you is, has the musicians that you play with, have they noticed a change or an improvement in your feel and your groove?
Again, big time, because it's something that it's coming. I'm not sure if I am saying that correctly, but it's coming out from me, from myself. I'm very, I'm confident with this. When I'm playing a groove, I'm not like, I'm taking, okay, now I have to go to the feel, okay, and that's 2 bars, or it's a half of a bar, it's 16s and stuff like that. So I'm enjoying the music. I mean, the whole, the band as a whole. And I know my bandmates, they know that I'm not a chops guy, but I think they kinda like what I'm doing as far as grooving, because I make them feel secured,
And so then I think a key word that you just said was you're enjoying the music more.
Totally.
Right? Because of this confidence. And then the musicians you're playing with, I'm going to hope they're enjoying it too more now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Man, that makes me so happy. That's why I do what I do, is to share anything that I might have learned that might help you improve what you're doing. And then hopefully the musicians that you're playing with notice, and then you all just enjoy what you're doing so much more, right?
Totally, man. I mean, the internet is full of drum stuff. I mean, and chops and patterns and licks. Okay, but now we have something different. I mean, we are concentrating on playing music and enjoying music.
I love it. I love it. And
Yeah, I love it too.
it's for me, it's always been about the joy of music, the joy of playing the drums, and how do you share that joy? How do you impart that joy? And what I've learned through teaching and presenting the lessons that I present is that by sharing some of this knowledge, and some of it's kind of analytical, and some of it's, you know, really taking a deep dive into details and nuances, but it's so that we can improve what you're doing so that you can enjoy it more and impart more joy to more people.
Yeah, totally. And as you have said, and that has a big impact also on me, is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel each time you sit on the drums.
Right.
Play whatever you are playing now, but with a better feel, with a better sound, with better time, and so on, okay? You don't have to learn a new lick or a new pattern every time you sit on the drums.
Right.
Just take what you already know and make it perfect.
And make it sound and feel amazing every time. Yeah, man, beautiful. Thank you for saying that. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that notification bell so you can get notified when I am posting new videos, which I plan on doing quite a lot. See y'all down the line. Thanks.